mic is okay. Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo.
Politico. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please share the broadcast, invite your friends, tell them that Maiyegun is live. Yes. Thank you very much for joining me. So from wherever you are watching from, share the broadcast, read the caption of the broadcast as well. In fact, read the description of the broadcast so that you too can participate. And there will be a time that we'll likely open the line tonight. I just want to bring all of us up to date with what is going on and pretty much still call on us. Never to forget the fact that we're going to need ourselves. If we really want to get through what these guys have, possibly put on our path. Some people will call it propaganda. Some will call it fear mongering. But the fact stares us all in the face. Thank you so much for joining me. Oloye Sunday Igboho committed no crime. The 12 Yoruba heroes that they locked up in the DSS cell illegally. Eventually, when they managed to bring them to court, they were granted bail with some stringent conditions attached. They met the bail conditions only for them to be told that the judge that will sign their release wasn't available. Well, while that is going on, the DSS who illegally kidnapped them and nobody has been held responsible. They killed 2 people in his house. He did nothing. He committed no crime. Well, they are also asking another court to give them another authorization. The one they didn't get in the first place when they invaded Oloye Sunday Igboho's house. Well, they are asking the court now to give them authorization to keep this, our brothers and sisters, in detention. Well, they told us yesterday that they found another judge that will eventually sign their release. We are following that up. Malamu had his nose bloodied today when he decided to go back to court to, upturn the court order that stopped the Nigerian government, Malamu, and the rest of them, including the DSS, from arresting and then harassing Oloye Sunday Igboho. It is a tough one. We will crack it tonight. Thank you. Tonight as well, I'm going to try and get into your mind, get into your head, positively, by the way, if you would let me. And that is why, if you are watching Maiyegun's Diary tonight, I want to ask you to please listen with an open mind. Do not come with your own predetermined conclusion about anything. Let's share all this. Let me break everything down for you. Maybe I will be able to help you get an answer quickly to what has been a puzzle to you for a while. I want to tell you I want to tell you as well tonight on how the Taliban came back to power, how the catch and release, pardon, forgiveness for those considered to be terrorists. Yes, those who have this ideology that many of us are scared of, in case if we ever get caught up in their madness, right? So those who have this ideology, they were in government for 5 years, 1996 to 2001, when America invaded Afghanistan. Many of those Taliban fighters, many of those Taliban, loyalists and the rest of them who laid down their arms, they surrendered. Some of them didn't surrender, but many of them who surrendered were later recruited into the Afghanistan army, Afghanistan police, and they ended up kind of worse off in the end, whereby it was easier for just a 75,000 strong Taliban to stage a comeback against over 400,000 strong military of Afghanistan. Nigeria is on that same journey, and you, as a person, should know something happened yesterday, and today people reacted to it. It happened in Edo, where they decided to inaugurate coronate another Sultan. This time around, it will be called Sultan of the Shuwa people in Edo. Now, that's a sultanate in Edo State right before your face. People said, when you talk about these things, you are probably trying to promote a propaganda. But it is not. It's real. It's obviously real. But they said people are paranoid. Why are you paranoid? What is it? Let them have their sultan. Let them have their emir. But Edo State people rejected that, and their government responded. I'll share that with you as well tonight. We will not have too much to dabble into, but these 3 points that I'm going to share with you tonight, especially on the haunting of Oloye Sunday Igboho, are more reason why we should all continue to push and fight that he must never, ever be returned to Nigeria for his own safety, because these guys are desperate, and the desperation that we can't really explain, but as well, to us, it borders on the fact that we have somebody like Oloye Sunday Igboho who told the Yorubas, the young Yorubas, home and abroad, that if we don't stand up all together, bond together in one, with one determination and then with one force, right? Those who those who are supposed to be the gatekeepers for the Yoruba people in the project Nigeria, they have compromised enough that they are so scared to defend Yoruba land. Oloye Sunday Igboho came out and he said, we have to do it. We will have to stand up and defend our communities, our vulnerable people that are easy targets for these marauders, these invaders, because the government of Nigeria has abandoned them. Oloye Sunday Igboho became a target. He became a target of the same government that abandoned the people that, people abandoned, people who are under the attacks of the invading terrorists in Oyo State, in Ogun State, in Ondo State, Ekiti State, Osun State. Some things that prompted the Yoruba governors, including all the southern governors, to finally come out to say, you know what? The only way to end this madness is for us to ban open grazing. Oloye Sunday Igboho is a product of a failed system where our people became vulnerable. They became vulnerable to the point that paying ransom to terrorists that will never be arrested, will never be prosecuted, became was almost our order of the day until this movement took a new dimension. While this came up, there was already an ongoing, general mobilization for the Yoruba people to go for self-determination. There are other things before this insecurity came to start haunting us. That was how Oloye Sunday Igboho became their target. They put a target on his back. They attacked his home. They burned down his house. They killed 2 people in his house. They decided to assassinate him simply because he led other young Yorubas to give a quit notice to the kidnappers. The kidnappers ring in Ibarapa in Oyo State. He didn't get all the support he deserved. At the end of the day, he had to run for his life. Of course, you have to live to fight another day, but they are not done with him. That was why Oloye Sunday Igboho is still being held in Benin Republic today. But those who failed in their attempt to kill him in Nigeria, they are not done. There is no case against him. They popped one up and they said this into gun running. There is no evidence of that. And yet, there is no court order that gives them any clearance. The one that they try to get right now, which we can't really understand what Malami is up to, other than just to help them subjugate the people of Yoruba land, where we would never be able to stand up and say, oh, we don't want a Sultan too. We don't want Emir. We don't want Seriki here and there on the illegal land that they are occupying. We will not be able to say that. We will not be able to stand up. The Nigerian military will hunt us down, just like they are hunting down the Biafrans today. So Malamu went to court to go and upturn a court order that barred them from arresting or harassing Oloye Sunday Igboho, which normally will make him free to go anywhere he wants to go to because he's not a criminal. So Malamu was in court and he failed once again. And the court said, well, you didn't bring any proof that will make us grant you an arrest warrant so that you can go ahead now probably and do it legally. There was no investigation of Oloye Sunday Igboho. There was no investigation of crime or any violence related to them. But the reason why they were after him was simply because they said, we don't want the Fulani killer herdsmen in our forest anymore. Amiyetiala came out and they said the Yoruba governors, as well as the Igbo governors or the southern governors who are trying to make a law or who are making laws to ban open grazing, they should forget 2023. So that means that what Oloye Sunday Igboho and the rest of the young Yorubas thought they were fighting for is bigger than what they thought. In fact, asking for self-determination, which has now become the norm now. It has become imminent and unavoidable anymore. That also jolted them more to pretty much trigger a killing spree, a murderous campaign, the one they started 6 years ago, but wasn't too obvious until 4 years or 3 years ago when they cracked down on the Biafrans who were peaceful protesters, peaceful in their peaceful gatherings. Their meetings are everywhere until they kill and kill and kill, kidnap and rape and so many of innocent people in the name of looking for IPOB. Why they were doing all of that? As much as some of you would be like, I don't agree with this. I don't like the way this whole thing is going. Simply because people are kind of fed up now. Like, no, we too, we are done. We will no longer pretend to be all right with all the injustice, where everybody will be like, well, you caused it, or blame the victim and all that stuff, right? So if you feel so confused, why? It's simply because as much as, I mean, every day, yeah, every injustice that push every tribe or every nationality in Nigeria to the point of this precipice of, no, we don't want to be part of this anymore. Even though not many are coming out so fully for this yet, but don't worry, it is already everywhere. People are just waiting for who is going to drop the bombshell this time around among the political class who are still pretending and living in denial. Every day that injustice continues, for example, you have those who have done so well, right, to break all the what do you call it, all the fault lines, things that will normally you will never touch them. You won't touch them, even if you are so nepotistic that much, where you are so self-centered, like a Bukwari. There are some things that you don't touch if you don't want people to question the existence of Nigeria. Bukwari crossed all those lines and dared everyone to do their worst. Right before our eyes, Nigeria got dipped into further poverty. That is no longer about corruption. It is now laced with complete incompetence and total collusion, which has brought death, insecurity, and further destruction. That everybody is now probably counting this. Maybe if Buhari is gone, maybe everybody, maybe things will go back to normal. Now, that injustice of where you see murderous gang who brag every day that they will not stop until they bring their caliphate onto Nigeria, until every part of Nigeria become a caliphate, as they are pushing in Afghanistan. Nigeria is doing similar things that brought the Taliban's back to power in Afghanistan. Same thing America and their allies did. In their way, they knew then that the Americans and their allies would not be able to protect the Afghanistan, so to say. So they decided to recruit repentant Talibans, many of them who joined simply because, well, the Talibans are no longer in power. And just like the Nigerian army, now they are recruiting repentant terrorists into Nigerian army. They continue to deny it, but one time they will come out and tell you that it is the right thing to do, right? Then one day, just one day, as everyone finally have to like cower or get cowed by them, right? At the end of the day, one day, maybe in another 5 years, maybe in another 10 years, if they continue to keep the contraption together, then one day you will get them, you will see them march into every part of Nigeria, whether the north or south, everywhere. Some of you think it's going to be easier to be done in the north. Of course, it will be done easier as well in the south. What do you think is going on, by the way, when you have people who before now never existed, they never had the audacity to attack communities like the way they are brazenly doing right now, getting away with it? They never had that audacity before now. It was never this so much bad that you will get to see people walk into communities. I'm talking about tens of communities in a single day. They did it in Ebonyi. They did it in Enugu. They did it in Abia. They did it in Ogun State, to the point that they made people become refugees in another country. All these attacks all come down to one thing, that even the government of Nigeria finally acknowledged. They said it is because of no land for the armed herdsmen. So one day, while these herdsmen are killing and getting away with it under different names and different guises, bandits, ISWAP, Boko Haram, ISIS, for whatever you want to call them, all this gang of terrorists, they have managed to cover all part of the country. It just depends on what kind of order will come. And you would expect that if they tried, the military will respond, the police will respond. And I ask you today, what happened to those communities that have been attacked, ransacked, people killed, including the one that happened, in Enugu, where a pregnant woman was killed and her baby was slashed from her stomach? Yeah? stabbed and killed as well, and dumped on out there. What happened to the police? What happened to the military? So the same gang of criminals who are unable to tell you who are the sponsor and the financiers of the terrorists in northern Nigeria, they came up with the idea of unknown gunmen to distract you from the AK-47 armed to the teeth herdsmen who are roaming your forest, because you have no real information to keep you up to date, to tell you exactly how insecure some of your surroundings are. The forest that you travel through in Yoruba land, in Igbo land, in every other land that you have in the southern Nigeria. Something happened in Plateau State. You have read about it. You read about the 28 or about 38 Muslim pilgrimage travelers who were killed in Plateau State. You've read about that. Well, there is something that also popped up where people said, have you noticed the level of reactions of those who have been waiting for an opportunity to further their murderous religious campaign in Plateau State? Somebody came up with exactly what happened. And let me tell you this. This makes a lot of sense. They said where these guys were stopped before the day of the incidents where they killed 20-something Muslim travelers, as the media presented it, right? Just a few days before then, well, about 2-3 weeks before then, the area has been under constant attack where the communities, I have some of the videos, but they are not really so good to share. I mean, I don't want to get sanctioned in a way that I won't be able to do this whenever I want to again, right? But there are some videos, evidence of these different communities in this part of Plateau State where Fulani terrorists, armed terrorists, have been staging every day, like every fortnight attacks. The people displaced. And the youth of these communities, they grouped themselves. And they decided to create, to launch a stop and search to an entrance to their communities. And you see where this community is, these areas, right? They are not in any way close to the major motorways where people who are traveling to southern Nigeria will be on, or people who are traveling to, let's say, Kaduna, should be on their way to. It is actually like interior part of Plateau State where they have no link to those who are traveling anywhere. And this is what they said. They said they were doing stop and search to check everybody that comes into their communities and that. So this fateful day, on that unfortunate day, they saw a convoy traveling with about 2 coffins. And they saw them in another traveling bus. And they looked like they were Islamic, let's put it this way, they look like Muslims. They dressed like Muslims, women, men, and all of them. Then they have coffins. They had coffins in their convoy, about 3 cars in a convoy. So this youth, they started asking questions like, you guys look like Muslims, but we know that Muslims don't bury their dead in coffins. Why are you people traveling with coffins? And they said they had no answer. Some of them said they came for the Islamic year, but they are not living around that area. They are living in Ondo State. It doesn't mean that they are from Ondo State. Oh. They said they live in Ondo State. Others couldn't give any real definition of where they are going. And if you are really going to Ondo State, what are you doing on this route? like normal vigilante, asking questions. They decided to open the coffins. When they opened the coffins, what did they find? They found guns. Guns. You know? And the moment they found guns, they decided to want to hold them. You know what happened? Many of them tried to escape. And you know, a community that has witnessed the killings of more than 200 people that the media is not even reporting. You know what they did? They just went after them. And immediately they went after them. The news that was shared out there was that the youth in that community, they have killed 29 Muslims. Suddenly, people who knew about those guys who are like mercenaries going for another attack, they just cashed in on it. Since they have the dead bodies, they are dead. They killed them. Just same way it's become, I kill you, you kill me. That's the situation in the most part of the northwest, north central of northern Nigeria, the middle belt of Nigeria today. Because when the terrorists comes to the communities, they ransack the communities overnight. They kill and kill and kill and kill. No police response. And overnight, they would disappear. It was pretty much like a game. They go back again. They go back again and again and again. But the moment the people decide to group together to fight back, that is when you will see the military. That's when you will see the police. Most of the time, the police and the military will then go after the young people they found in that community. They will be displayed or paraded as the criminals who are causing problem. Now, this time around, it was an easy sell. You know, they've always been having a religious crisis that were always sponsored, promoted by the likes of Issa Pandemic, who is now a minister under Bukwari. So when they asked Issa Pandemic about the people killed, the powerful people are interested. Go on now. You can kill all the Christians you see. They killed Muslim. This is barbaric. They kill Muslim. You see now they killed Muslim. But they are not telling you how many people they have killed right now, since that news is about they killed Muslim. But they killed those who were transporting weapons. And that is the story. That is the truth. But guess what? That doesn't sell well in Nigeria. So they went to the eastern Nigeria and they created unknown gunmen, repentant terrorists that they have been releasing. That many of us have been saying and saying. I remember about 2-3 years ago, I kept saying it. Go and watch some of my videos. I said, Bukwari is releasing terrorists. They call it Operation Safe Corridor. I kept repeating and hammering it. And every month, every year, the number keeps growing and growing and growing. For 4 years, they have released those they called repentant terrorists. They have released over 7,000. And as you are watching this video, like as they would love it to be, the Boko Haram fighters and terrorists are now surrendering. Even though some are surrendering, others are taking over barracks, taking over armory. Today, they killed 27 soldiers and they displayed all the weapons they took from them. Boko Haram, the same Boko Haram that are surrendering. Boko Haram that kidnapped so many school children. And those are just school children. There are many school children, school girls. So there are many girls and children they kidnapped from different communities that their parents are not known and there is no data for them. Many of them are serving as sex slaves for this Janjaweed Mujahideen terrorists that Nigeria is releasing. And as they are releasing them, they are recruiting them into the military. They are recruiting them into all these things. I said they were doing that. They said, no, it's a conspiracy theory. Today they have come out to say, yes, we were doing it. It is because of the international convention to always pardon any terrorist that repents.
So they now craft out unknown gunmen. They took them to Biafra land because of two things: unfinished war and unfinished revenge that those who took over Nigeria from 1966, the last of them is Bukwari. He was a young, very, very raging, angry, hot soldier from northern Nigeria who never, ever forgave those he called the people who killed their leaders. Bukwari was one of those who staged that revenge coup of 1966, July 1966. And among all of them who did that, who also started the program that killed over 5 million people from Biafra land. Now, because they didn't let them finish the war, what they wanted to do was, according to them, to wipe the Biafrans out of the entire map. But they didn't succeed. They couldn't succeed. So they kept the war going, and they called it Cold War. Cold War that lasted for over 50 years. Bukwari is the last repellent terrorist who staged that revenge coup of 1966. So the greedy people who went to the grave to dig out a terrorist, to dig out the ghost of a terrorist, they are also paying their own price too. But that unfinished war was why they decided to set up the Southeast Nigeria, to set up the Biafrans. And I remember one time, a while ago, when they asked Bukwari, when they asked Bukwari about his reason for kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he said, maybe they were too young to understand the war, blah, 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 that Nnamdi Kanu was trying to bring out the war. And that moment was what triggered Bukwari way back in 2016. They created unknown gunmen in eastern Nigeria. They armed terrorists who have done so well to close all the majority of the police station, police posts, military posts in northern Nigeria, where many of them have then relocated to the eastern Nigeria, mountain roadblock to collect checkpoints, to collect a bribe, to extort people every day. Then they created unknown gunmen in order to set up the people of the southeast. You know why they created unknown gunmen? They created unknown gunmen the moment they realized that the Biafrans have taken their own struggle much serious, when they decided to harm themselves by creating the Eastern Security Network. Eastern Security Network is a direct stab on the chest of these marauders, because listen, they've already set the entire country up. They know about these terrorists. They know their capability. They know their source of weapon. They know their source of supply and everything. They do know all of this. You don't know. You and I can continue to guess or continue to work with pieces of information that trickles out there, right? But the security force in Nigeria, the politicians in Nigeria, those who are in charge of the security of Nigeria, they do know those who are funding these people. Therefore, they just have to control how they react to it. And that's exactly what they are doing. They control where they react. And they want all of us to live in that fear. If you get attacked, fine. If you don't get attacked, great. But what happens is this: they know those who are going to attack you. They know when they can attack you. They know when they can get away with it, because even upon all of that, they already have a plan for them to escape all the justice. So it is like an affront on them that as everything is planned, the fear is implanted in many people. It is unexpected of us to have any kind of a pushback. Push back, complain, all of that, fine. But don't push back to the point that you think you can defend yourself against these terrorists. The terrorists that they know them. They know them very well. They know the terrorists are killing policemen. They are killing soldiers. They are killing innocent people. They do know. They know they are killing their own people that they trained to keep you and me safe. They know. But they are ready to sacrifice them in order to keep you and me in perpetual fear. The fear of the unknown. What if we try to go and fight back? Oh, they will kill us. And to make sure that that fear is pretty much ingrained and established, they don't want any of us to have any thought of, I want to protect myself. So when the IPOB came and they said, we are starting ESN, we're going to protect our farmers, we're going to protect our mothers, we're going to protect our communities, our villages, that shouldn't have made anybody angry. That should have made so many people who actually love the Biafra land, even if they don't agree with the IPOB. That moment is the moment that everybody should be like, you know what? This is security. Why can't we just all support them? We know that the Nigerian military, even if you want to be generous, you can say, okay, Nigerian military, they are overstretched. They should have welcomed them with open hand. But you know why they won't welcome them is because that will be outside the plan. ESN said if you found any Fulani armed terrorists in our forest in Igbo land, we didn't say go to Kano, go to Zamfara. They didn't say ESN should go to Sokoto or Kano. They said if you found any armed terrorists in any of our forests in Biafra land, yeah, you should disarm them. That should be a message that everybody in Igbo land, everybody in Biafra land should agree to. I mean, genuinely. Even if you don't agree with IPOB and Biafra struggle and what have you, your own safety, your own security, the safety of the people that you think you love in those communities that you love to go back to every year. Those communities are going to they are going to disappear soon. They are your homegoing every December in Igbo land that everybody cherish and love so much. It's going to soon become a mirage. That many of you will have to spend your homecoming, you have to spend them in your state capitals. ESN was meant to push them back. They were not meant to be your enemy. But they became automatic enemy of the Nigerian government. The same government that failed to protect the people, to provide the security for them. Then, how would they discredit ESN? If ESN stays in the forest and they are pushing back at the Fulani terrorists in the forest, how would they dare be able to discredit them in the eyes of an Igbo man and Igbo woman? They created unknown gunmen. Unknown gunmen. What do you mean by unknown gunmen? Criminals with guns who can kill and get away with it. They can break a prison and there will be no military response. There will be no police response, even though if the prison is just 5 minutes walk from the governor's office, governor's house. Things don't make sense because they were created in order to justify setting the people of the Southeast up, then to fulfill the long-time dream of Bokwari and people like him and those generation who came after them, those they breeded and groomed to hate and believe that until they spill the blood of an Igbo man, they never really feel powerful. Until they trample on anyone that is not from their clan, they never feel so invincible. Those who came after them with this mentality, Bokwari is just trying to finish the job for them so that they will have something to tell their children too. We killed Igbos. We will kill them again. That is how they brag about it on there. How would they justify it? Set up something that will make an average Igbo man and woman to begin to even question the IPOB. Did it work? Of course it worked. Don't pretend that it didn't work. Today, you will see so many Biafrans, Igbo people, who will publicly tell you and agree with Bokwari, with this terrorist government, that indeed IPOB should be proscribed. They are terrorist organization. They are the unknown gunmen. How do you think that came by? There wasn't unknown gunmen before ESN was created. There was no unknown gunmen. You could tell when you have a terrorist attacking anywhere in Igbo land, they will tell you, people will tell you who attacked them. But immediately they created ESN, and we started seeing the fight back, the pushback. We started seeing that some of you will never even knew that there are settlements, Seriki Aba, Seriki Enugu. Some of you are really, core Biafrans who were bragging everywhere then that nowhere they cannot try this nonsense with us, until ESN started going into the forest and they started exposing these communities that are already there. But many of you didn't know. This expose brought targets to the back of every Igbo man, Igbo woman, Igbo youth that volunteered to safeguard the people, the vulnerable people in different communities in Igbo land. They became the targets of the government after using unknown gunmen. I remember telling people then that please, you may somehow call it a karma, that the criminals who are supposed to protect you, they militarized Eastern Nigeria, and they continue to humiliate the Biafrans in Igbo land. They continue to extort them, intimidate them, that you can wake up early morning in Owerri, the state capital, and then you will see the military, the police, and their trucks parked on the main road, and they will start asking all of you to raise up your hands and start walking like that. If you fail, they will grab you and they will beat you like silly. That's how they treat the people of Eastern Nigeria, even though that is not where you have the Boko Haram, ISWAP, that are kidnapping hundreds and thousands of school children, kidnapping hundreds and thousands of civilians, and they are collecting hundreds of millions and billions of naira as ransom every now and then. But if you go to the Eastern Nigeria, that's where you see where the Nigeria military are so present. But they are not done. They wanted to complete the emasculation and then the subjugation, or even the another program this time around, and they have been doing it. They created the unknown gunmen. Suddenly, we know where ESN were supposed to be. ESN never come to the city. Everybody in Igbo land knows that they don't even see the ESN. And then just after the ESN was created, just around February or March this year, they said Otokoto boys are back. Bakassi boys are back. You remember all those news early this year? Then suddenly unknown gunmen are back. Even though they go about trying to bribe people to tell them the location of the unknown gunmen, the location of the ESN, Eastern Security Network. They were bribing people, but they couldn't really find them. Then they started paying those who are ready to wreak havoc, criminals from Igbo land, criminals, repentant terrorists from Sahel, from Libya, from everywhere. They moved all of them together and they gave them a new tag, unknown gunmen. Then average Igbo man started feeling like, hey, this unknown gunmen must be the ESN. Why would the ESN suddenly come to town and start walking about and start showing what? Burning police station and what? But I'm glad today that many people they are getting to know now that they did that in order for them to justify the occupation of the Eastern Nigeria, start another civil war if possible, and then eventually, stay in power, and this time around, finish the job as they are hoping to do. Finish the job. Kill as many Igbos as you can. They brag about it on social media. Don't pretend that you don't know about it. Thank you very much, Tina. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not kill anybody. You wouldn't even see him pose with a gun. Talk less of seeing him posing in the midst of Biafrans or anybody or any group of people holding guns I know it will be a great thing, a very great, powerful image if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is there sitting in the midst of the ESN members to boost their morale as their commander. But he never killed anybody. He never kidnapped anybody. He never did anything other than asking for a referendum. Somebody said, Maiyegun, stop talking about referendum because all we want is just to break away from this country. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself is asking for a referendum. Because you know what? Breaking away from Nigeria is indeed two ways. But at the end of the day, if you take the first way, which is the best way, let the people decide. The Biafrans have shown repeatedly that if they are given the choice today to choose between Nigeria and choose Biafra, I don't want to be kind of too simplistic about it, yeah? But they have shown it to us that over 90% of them will vote to go for Biafra, no doubt. So let them decide. If you're not going to let them decide, there's going to be continued disorderliness that will continue to make, those they call the non-state actors to be more relevant as people will continue to tilt towards them, like you have in the IPOB. So they didn't commit any crime. They didn't do anything other than asking for a peaceful dissolution of the marriage with Nigeria. And how that became so much of a sin to the Islamic Caliphate of northern Nigeria is known. However, people too should also realize one thing. There are things that you will say they are not possible. There are things that are already happening that they don't really need much of your input to validate them. One of them is this. Somebody who is already in a very good advantage position due to who he is. Let's start with this. He is already so happy with what happened in Afghanistan. He is in charge of, is part of those who are directing your oil, oil industry in Nigeria, the NNPC, the one that they control and they will never let go. Because that is where they believe the cash cow is. Anyway, this guy celebrated, said it's a win-win in Afghanistan today, the moment the Taliban took over Kabul. Yeah? Now, Nigeria is rated last year, Global Terrorism Index. Nigeria is rated as Han Demoni. Thank you very much for your super sticker, by the way. I want to quickly share something there. Right. Nigeria is rated third most terrorized countries in the whole world because in 6 years under Boko Haram, before they came to power, Nigeria was battling with Boko Haram. Boko Haram who want to abolish school. They want to abolish school for any girls or any women going for, women having to work. They don't want women to go to school or women to have job. They believe that women are properties of men, right? And they also believe that infidels are not supposed to live. They are supposed to be killed. You either convert or get killed. Now, this is the situation in northern Nigeria that has been there for ages now. But last 6 years, instead of the current Al-Qaeda People's Congress of Nigeria, APC, Egbekegbe, to end the terrorism, they have in fact managed to subsidize it. To finally subsidize it, I would say. They've done so well that they have opened branches for these terrorists. That today, we now have a whole body of all the terrorists in Nigeria who are now loyal to the Islamic State of Iraq or Iran or what have you, ISIS and Syria. They say Iraq and Syria. However, these people have become so notorious that they are so powerful, yeah, that number one, they can shoot down the military jet in Nigeria, and whoever they kidnap, you have to pay ransom or they sell you off as a slave. Last 6 years alone, Nigeria government has released over 6,000 of these fighters, killers, and murderers back into the society. Now, just last year, 2020, Nigeria then handed the place, the third most terrorized countries in the whole world. Nigeria became the third most terrorized country in the whole world. Nigerians became the most terrorized people in the entire Africa. Third most terrorized people in the whole world. Now, this terrorism is about the jihad you see there. There is also an economic terrorism. There is also human rights abuse and all of this terrorism that people have been terrorized, traumatized, brutalized, and even killed for under this government in 6 years. Okay? Now, the agenda they push is that we must give land to armed Fulani terrorists on one hand, while on the other hand, the Boko Haram ISIS fighters are asking that Nigeria should become an Islamic republic, Islamic caliphate, where Sharia rules. Nigeria is a country of 200 and over 250 nationalities. These guys who made up of these terrorist groups, they are Hausa, Kanuri, Fulani. Some of them are totally from outside Nigeria, but you have those in government who have alliances with these guys, who have a bit of allegiance to them and their ideologies, but they are in government using Takia to make everybody believe that they are for Nigeria. But on one hand, trust me, they are in bed completely in total with these terrorists. Now, here we found ourselves. The rest of the nationalities in Nigeria are not going about trying to establish kingdoms, because there are already existing kingdoms before everything was fused together to make up this fake one contraption called Nigeria. You have Benin Kingdom, you have Oyo Kingdom, you have Adara Kingdom, you have Ijebu Kingdom, you have Egba Kingdom. You have all these kingdoms where people have their land and ancestral heritage that link them to those land. But there is nowhere we see anybody trying to get Yoruba Kingdom in Borono in order to become the Kabiesi of Borono. I'm talking about Alaye of Borono or Alaafin of Borono. But they create this community, relationship or something that they try to encourage in Nigeria, where you have in a community, like for example in Ijebu land, if you have people from Benue, Agatu, and people from Delta, people from Sokoto, Kano, from everywhere, all over the country, where they have their place, where they are mainly domiciled. You have them in Lagos. All these communities are mainly domiciled by different nationalities, different ethnic nationalities from all over Nigeria. But guess what? They appoint leaders who eventually manage to liaise between these ethnic nationalities in their who are living far away from their ancestral land, ancestral states, so to say, right? Living far away. But yeah, they appoint leaders, representatives that gets them involved in the day-to-day running of, government, business, and what have you of different communities that is hosting them. Right? They participate economically. They do all they can to be part of that. But yes, none of them is really pushing to have the place they have and call it their kingdom, like these guys did or trying to do in Edo, right? We've had Seriki Fulani here and there. We've had so many of them here and there. And they said, you cannot ban Nigerians from traveling all over Nigeria. Nobody is banning you from traveling everywhere. But there are rules and regulations to those places you have to visit. This is how we do in my own area, right? You have to know that that's not how they do everywhere. And if you don't respect that, and you begin to bring these alien and foreign ideas to them, and you expect them to accept it, or it's going to be war, it's going to be fight. Of course, it's going to be fight. See, They said they had somebody who is going to become the Sultan of Shuwa Arabs of Edo State. Whatever that even means, right? Shuwa Arabs of Edo State. And they want to have a coronation for him. So, and as you would expect, they send an invite out that everybody should come. They want to appoint a sultan in Edo, where they have Oba. Oba Nedo Erediwa. Omonoba. Oba Atokpe. Sorry, guys, I don't know if I'm saying that right. But please, I mean no offense. But you know what I'm talking about? They decided to appoint Sultan. And before you know it, after 2-3 years, a gazette will just come from Abuja. And they will say sultans, you will just see this gazette. They will say all the sultans in Nigeria. And you start hearing Sultan Abubakar, Sultan this, Sultan Adano of Edo State. They will say, now they are great. Now, your children in 20 years' time, they will have to start explaining. You will have to start explaining to them that nalayo, because these people will tell them that their great grandfather in year 2020 or 2021 AD, they conquered the people of Akoko Edo. They conquered the Benin people. They conquered everywhere, and that is how they became Sultan. And all he's going to need to maintain his sultanship is just for them to give him military in Abuja. Just military. Once they send him military, right, that's it. But I trust the Edo people. They're no griot. And as everybody knows, they pretend, yeah. And so Edo State government came out with this memo. They said, hey, everybody, more slow down. Oh, slow down, no. They abuse things where we say you're not supposed to abuse, and they issued this statement today. Let me try and read it to you. I have bad eyes, by the way, yeah, but bear with me. Edo State government statement on the planned coronation of a sultan in Edo State. The Edo State government has been inundated with complaints from indigents and residents of the state over the purported move to embark on the coronation of one Idris Adano as Sultan of Shuwa Arabs of Edo State, whatever that even means, for goodness sake. The audacity, man. Yeah? The Edo State government wishes to state as follows: that whether or not this event is held at the proposed or any other location within the state, it would constitute a direct assault on the traditions, custom, and culture of the people of Edo State by individuals who clearly have sinister motives and are trying to abuse the well-known Edo hospitality by their act of sacrilege. That it is a potential threat to the peace and security of Edo State, with the capacity to cause a breakdown of law and order, as citizens of the state are likely to be provoked by the obnoxious ceremony. Under the Edo State traditional rulers and chiefs law, it is an offense for anyone to proclaim himself or allow himself to be proclaimed as the holder of any traditional title not recognized under the said law, and or without the approval of the appropriate authorities. The state government hereby wishes to assure all that assure just made me remember Bokwari. So wishes to assure all concerned that firm and decisive action will be taken to prevent the actualization of these illegal and sacrilegious acts, and that all persons found to have been involved in the conception and or execution of same would face the full wrath of the law. The Edo State government therefore calls on all citizens to be calm, law-abiding, and rest assured that government is firm on top of the situation. I hate that word. Politicians are never on top of any situation. They milk the situation. But it's just to tell you that they are reacting, which is normal. They are reacting. So it is no longer rumor. It is already there. There are already people there pushing the agenda. You have, I think we have Emir of Lagos, or is it Sultan of Lagos? Shebi? The one that Sanwo-Olu already is already paying homage to. All these things are just the validation of what is still to come. But guess what? People will know the truth. They will devise means of pushing back. And they will push back. Because as they say, the truth will eventually set us free. I actually believe it can set us free. It is setting us free already. They had no good plan. You have to know that. They had no good plan, and they continue to preach unity. Unity. We tell them, listen, unity is a very good word. It's a very fancy word. But unity is more than just a word. If you want to really build a united, or people coming together united, you have to start first by acting as somebody who wants to unite people. Because unity is not just a word, it is the doing. You don't continue with this barbaric, disadvantaged, impernicious arrangements that continue to make the rest of Nigeria the servitude, or let me say the slave to those who have no clue about what they are doing, other than the blindness of greed and selfishness, where that comes with the reward that many of them have suddenly become billionaires, billionaires without any invention, billionaires without any address, billionaires of free looted fund. You can't continue to pardon terrorists who continue to kill military, kill soldiers, kill policemen, kill the people that you spend money to train, continue to take over your weapons, and then turn around and start arresting people who have become victims of this collaboration and collusion. If there's nothing to it, you don't preach unity, you act it. And suddenly, by the way, those who kept quiet all this while, PDP, they seems to have started coming up again. And in their plan, they are now going to be saying the same thing that we have been saying all this while. But they will say it differently. Now they have the material to convince and lie to you just to buy time. Like I told you, it is a collective agreement that power cannot go back to the southern Nigeria. And if they want to go into it this time around, trust me, even those of them who are going to London to take pictures with Tifnumbu and gang, to show that they are with him or not, they know that when the push or the shove comes to push and what have you, they are already setting up their Tifku for you. In the southern Nigeria, there are already those who are already saying if the power must be taken away from Bokwari, they need another northerner to help them take it away from Bokwari, so that northerner will then hand it over to the southerner. And guess what? They are already proposing their Tifku. And you know one thing is this is where those our brothers and sisters who are waiting or laughing, they are waiting for the time that they were going to see Oloye Sunday Igboho in handcuffs. They are waiting for the time where they are going to continue to laugh and see more of our young people kidnapped, arrested, and humiliated by a system that failed to protect us. A system that is actually fighting a jihad against us, economic and physical jihad. Those of them who are waiting to see Oloye Sunday Igboho in chains, in handcuffs, and the rest of them, simply because they felt like Yoruba nation, asking for Yoruba nation right now is tantamount to Tifnumbu losing out his lifelong dream of becoming the president of Nigeria. Those are our brothers and sisters who are laughing, who are waiting to see all of our brothers and sisters championing Yoruba nation, humiliated on the street of Lagos, to be humiliated on the street of Abeokuta or Ibadan. Many of them, the disappointment that is awaiting them is worse than what happened when the Berlin Wall fell. It was earth shaking. Because everybody will queue behind the northern candidate. And as you are watching this video, there is no northern candidate that these guys from the APC will push for you or push forward for you, but somehow they are going to entrap you, tell you about self-determination. You are going to listen to Atifku. You're going to listen to many of them who have played dumb, deaf and dumb for the past for the past 2 years, at least primarily for the past 2 years. You will begin to see them talk about Biafra. They will begin to talk about power sharing. They will begin to talk about regionalism. They will begin to talk about restructuring, things that will entice you. And in order for you to buy time, that moment is coming. But guess what? It's coming chaotically. Because it's not going to be business as usual as well. It's not going to be as easy, as smooth as they are also planning it. Because it's more than where they thought they left it. The people they are coming to deceive are more enlightened than what they will imagine. But there's one thing they will always use: your fear. That works very well. In fact, it works on so many people very well. Fear. They address your fear. They tell you they will give you all you want, all you desire, but we need time. And like Omoyele Sowore told all of us, and he said, you need the revolution. I don't want to be your president, but you need the revolution to dislodge this system. This system will continue to create fraudsters that will continue to use your problem to address you in order to buy time, to buy your loyalty, to buy and, deceive you in order for you to validate them for another term. And when you validate them, they will just push back and say, what you are asking for is too much. You can't expect us to do that. Blah, 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 blah. But Sowore said, a revolution will kick everybody out and will give you an opportunity of a restart. Number one, well, people said revolution should be spontaneous. I agree. And eventually, whether it is Sowore's revolution, whether it is your revolution, whether it is my revolution, at the end of the day, something that will do a reset, that will never give these criminals opportunity to lie to you anymore. It's going to be the way out. And if you ask me, Maiyegun, how are we going to do that? I'll tell you, they are going to make you do it. And when the time is right, you are going to be so tired, like many of you are so tired of their lies, of their tricks, using or appealing to your fear. Now, that we have more people who are kind of have an idea of what they do and how they do it. How could people who want Biafra suddenly just change? It's because those who are going to lie to many of you to change it temporarily so that you can give them time, those who are going to lie to you have been studying you for some time now. They kept mute. They pretended they don't know, but they do know. But when they use you and manipulate you, that moment is now. But what they don't know themselves is that you are not the same as what you were 2 years ago, 5 years ago. It's going to be more difficult. That's why I said it is a chaotic coming. They will find it difficult to deceive a lot of people this time around. And as it is going right now, when people say there will be no election in Eastern Nigeria, people don't need to go and stop people from voting. But it will get to a stage with that people will be like, why are we even just voting? And when people begin to agree that we don't even, this is absolute madness. We can't let these people continue this way. Then everybody will eventually agree that something needs to change. Not according to what this merchant of blood said it should change into. It will be what you think it should change into. But by the time you know that, the process of having to arrive at that may all be different, right? But it will all make sense at the end of the day, because the same establishment that brought us to this level will be gone because you want it gone. Sorry if that sounded like I'm speaking in parables. I'm not. I'm just saying that if we want to stop this, if we are tired, genuinely, because those guys knows us very well, they're going to talk about all these things very soon. Atiku is going to address Biafra issue very soon. He's going to speak glowingly, beautifully. Some of these guys are going to begin to tone down now. Because above it all is that they need to buy that time and they need you to give them that approval. Now, how about you not validating that? Knowing the reason why you don't want to validate it. And what do you want? Being able to know what you want. That capacity is what we are building. I mean, we need that, don't we? When the Yoruba nation says we want Yoruba nation, we want to discuss this self-determination. We don't want an election. So maybe by the end of this year, maybe before the middle of 2022, some of our brothers and sisters who are currently expecting Tifnumbu to be the president, when the picture becomes clearer and clearer and clearer, then they will realize that they have to begin to withdraw and come back. When they begin to get to that stage, then the rank and file of all of us who knows that it is all mirage, it is all fraud, it's all going to end in the same place, our rank and file will begin to swell. And the chariot they want to put together called election will become so inconsequential, invalid. And the referendum you're asking for may not be what will come next, but a revolution to push for that may be what will come next. How about that? Why not that? Why not a revolution led by the demand for we will not agree to all this madness that they have conjured and put together? Because at the end of the day, it is for more poverty, and anyone trying to tell you that they have a way out of it is only trying to buy time so that he can take over as well and continue the charade so that you will continue to complain. And if you dare complain and continue your complaint, the same people who are going to tell you that they understand you now, they are those who will send the soldiers to kill you because they want more time. And what you're asking for is impossible. You're asking them to break up Nigeria. It's impossible. They will tell you that then. But why not agree that wasting our time, pulling our heads together, trying to think maybe these ones are different or those other ones are different, trying to even think or entertain every of their suggestions to start with. It's just a step towards taking control of your thought, taking control of what they throw at you and what you decide to hold on to. All these ideas are ideas that bounces here and there, right there in your medulla oblongata, jumping up here and there. You couldn't make use of them, but I am trying to tell you to put them all together now that you can. And what is that? You can have all we want. We can stop all these aliens and their enablers. We can protect ourselves. We can develop a cluster system, security style. We can indeed be our brother's keepers, but we must want it. That's what I'm saying. Planting doubt, doubting ourselves, making ourselves pretty much suspicious when we are actually all in the face of danger that is staring us right there in the face, and those who are also collaborating with those who put us or who have dragged us to this mess, right? Those who are protecting them, who should be protecting us? Shouldn't be those to give us conditions on how we will get out of this. This is not going to be easy, but if the people want it, as terrible as the Taliban as they say they are, do you know that the Afghanistans who couldn't really run away from their country, they have been protesting. Today's supposed to be an Afghanistan Independence Day. Do you know that? They were supposed to be celebrating independence today, but the Taliban have taken over. And the people still came out to say, no, we don't want this. They've killed 2 people from the report we have received. But it simply means that even if you know that you are under serious oppression and what have you, right? You must want that change. You must make people understand why they need that change. You must want them to know that self-determination is not war. Going for all this political brigandage, political permutation, political nonsense they are doing, it is for the selfish interest of those who are those actors, not yours. If there's any political permutation that doesn't include the southern Nigeria to protect to protect our borders, protect ourselves, somebody says something about movement of citizens. I mean, let's start with protecting ourselves first. Movement of citizens. Does that include the movement with cows and guns? And if that is banned, does that mean that our own citizens in southern Nigeria are those who are actually moving the cows? Now, let's find that out. We can make it illegal. It's already illegal. You don't move cows around the city or communities to the point that you can go back there and attack and kill them. You don't do that in this 21st century. So how about we protect ourselves? How about we start with that? Yes, you can move around everywhere. Of course you can. Move about. But should you be moving about with guns and then telling us that we have no right to question that? I mean, how can that be a good arrangement for anyone? God forbid, Babati. Emir of Odogbolu. Ha. Maybe we already have Seriki of Odogbolu. Here I am in Scotland. Many of my viewers, my friends who are possibly watching from outside Nigeria as well, from Edo State. Some of them have been reacting with surprise, shock. They know that there are Muslims in Edo State. There are Beninese who are Muslims. Just like you have Muslims everywhere in southern Nigeria too. You do. But they don't go about and trying to then tell everybody that they grew up with. With the mentality of, oh, because we are Muslims from Lagos, we must have a Sultan of Lagos, Sultan Akinola. We must have Emir of Ilorin, Emir this or that. Well, they have Emir of Ilorin, by the way. So I don't mean no insult, but you know that history itself. They make it look like now the Fulani get Ilorin, but they don't. They don't even own 1/3 of it. Ilorin, where you call Ilorin today, where you call the Kwara State today, is made up of Yoruba people, which actually makes up a total of over 90% of the people there. Yoruba speaking people, Yoruba people, Kwara State, but they have Emir of Kwara. It's Emir of Ilorin. Emir Zulu Gambari. You know Zulu Gambari? They are the families that produce, and you know, they are Yoruba people too, but they have relations. They have this Fulani blood and all of that, and they have Emir of Ilorin. But imagine having Sultan of Odogbolu, because we have Chief Imam of Odogbolu, we have Imam of Odogbolu, we have Imam of Abeokuta. These are the titles that symbolize Mukadam. They will say Mukadam. I forgot what I mean. Mukadam, right? Emir is not ours. Emir is Amir. When they call somebody Amir, it's like the leader of the Fulanis. Amir. We don't have Amir in our tradition, but we do have our people who practice Islam for centuries now. I have to say, they have been practicing this for hundreds of years. There was never a time that they came by to say we deserve to have a Sultan or Emir in Yoruba land. But yeah, my Edo friends, my Edo brothers and sisters, you see Shuaib, Deputy Governor of Edo State, should be a Muslim, I believe. Shuaibu. You see Brahimo, you see this, they are from Edo State. They never, probably many of them are surprised that they're going to have a Sultan of Shuwa Arabs. Who are the Shuwa Arabs? So that they can then open Princess, you are supposed to be the class captain. You should be writing the name of anybody that make trouble, but now you they make trouble. Mukadam Feshadra. You know what I'm talking about, by the way. You know. These are the things we knew when we were growing up. There was no Sultan, there was nothing. But you see, these are all ideas. If you are politically politically exposed, I mean, if you are politically, let me say, a little bit educated in a way, like we are doing right now, there's no secret about politics than what I'm sharing with you here. There's no propaganda, there is no makeup, there's no nothing. These are stories that you can actually pair together and you can tell what is going to be the end result. We tell from what I'm not too young. I go be 40 very soon. I actually want to celebrate my 40th birthday, and I don't want to be a fool at 40 that will be telling his own children that there are people of Shuwa Arab. They came from Shuwa. God, I don't know where Shuwa Arab is in the east, right? I'm not saying it's southeast or Biafra, the east of what is today Nigeria. But I'm talking about Middle East, Arab, Arab, Shuwa Arabs. But they are in Africa. There are Shuwa Arabs in Africa, but they are not from Nigeria. Now, how would you relate to them? How would you relate them to the people of Edo? Where Omonoba? Oba Atokpae. Ise. Where you have Oba of Benin with history, tradition, everything, verifiable. Now, so Gazette go just come. And you will see the people full at 40. They will say, it happened in 1576. People will write the history. And one thing is this. Now people will get power. They write history. Now person will win. Fulanis don't fight any war. I'm so sorry if you are a Fulani man or a Fulani woman who is actually my friend. Because I think Maiyegun's diary has friends all over. And I have to always be very clear. But I'm saying this, right? There's no part of Yoruba land conquered by any Fulani. No history, no nothing. Say that. I'm a Yoruba man. And I wouldn't want to grow up and then, or maybe when I die, they will be telling my children that Fulani conquered the Barakwa. And some people who are going to be paid, they are going to write the history. They're going to teach the children in school and they will say, Fulanis, how did Fulani come to Ibarakwa? Then people will start writing this. They will say they conquered the people of Ibarakwa. Emir Gulugulu from somewhere, God knows. He was coming with his one cow. And his cow, a magical cow, blah, 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 blah. And he reached a mountain. When he got to that mountain with 3 parts, and the other said he should go straight. And that straight road led him to Ibarakwa. And that one cow just turned and started, giving birth and that's how they came to Ibarakwa in 1430. Somebody are going to write the history. I'm going to be dead. In 100 years' time, I'm going to be dead, gone. But they will pay some people that they would preach in different places and say, yes, Seriki Gulugulu came from somewhere in 1431. And they will say, go and check the history. Is that not how they rewrite the history of what happened in Biafra? They killed innocent people. They committed genocide. They raped women. They took children that never got back to Biafra land anymore. They sent them abroad. That many of them ended up in different homes in Africa. No joke. Story, true life story. But when they wrote the story, when they wrote the history, they wrote the sweetest part to glorified murderers, genocidists. So that children, people like me, people like you, we grew up celebrating murderers. Muritala Muhammad. Muritala Muhammad hero. They are Muritala. This person, that person. We started celebrating criminals because criminals were those who declared victory. Therefore, they wrote the history. And in that history, they're safe to say all animals, if they have their own historians and they are allowed to write their own history, there is nowhere you will see all the history about the jungle glorifying the hunter. Do you understand? Hunter will tell you how he fought 5 elephants, how he fought 5 lions, how he used magical power to disappear, and he captured this and he did that and all of that because he's the hunter. There he is. He shot an elephant and you can see a dead elephant in front of him. So he can tell you the story. Right? And this is how it all happens. Edo State. Some, they will just say you have Sultan in Edo. Your children will be reading state and capital. Edo, Bini, Bini, Edo. You know what I mean? Is it Sultan, Sultan, Sultan of Shokoto, Shokoto, Sultan of Kaduna, Kaduna, Emir of Gulu, 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 Sultan of Edo, Edo, Sultan of Shuwa Arab, Edo, Seriki Fulani of, you know what I mean? Your children will grow up reading them. And they will say, go to that place. You will see a mirror of this. They, you know, your politicians. They will buy them cars. They will build them palaces. They will go there for endorsement. They will prostrate for them. They will validate them. But only if you want it. It's up to you. People must not want something before you can tell them, before you can tell if it's going to last or not. But Edo government has responded, which is great. I wish they can respond more to other things, like the banning of open grazing. Rivers State came out today to sign the ban on open grazing, which is a good news, by the way. A very good one. So we are waiting. Today is the 19th of August. Simply put, we are just about 12 days away from the southern Nigeria to prove to us, the southerners, that indeed they can actually ban open grazing, and they can also stand their ground. They can stand on the ground and demand for restructuring. I know restructuring is fraudulent, but do you know that restructuring, they give them diarrhea, they give them running stomach, running belly, those parasite elites, political, religious elite from northern Nigeria, those scroungers. The fact that the South is trying to take the position on that, and I love to see them run to the toilet back and forth, and then run their diarrhea mouth repeatedly, send different threats and all of that, just for them to validate the fact that United Nigeria is a fraud. Just tell them that something that will never work for them, which is stop them from sharing from the rest of the resources of the country and make their own money, grow their own wealth, and then prosper their own people in a better way, like the normal people would do. Then they will tell you you are actually propagating something that is in enmity to the northern Nigeria. So I love to see them rage and rant. Don't just make the open graze banning public and visible. In another 13 days, we want you to go further. I mean, don't tell them that you don't care about 2023. You know what I mean? You care about the people before finally we will use the social media to stage the uprising that will actually consume not just those who have sold us or cashing out on us as a people, including you who have chickened out enough and believe that all you need to do is just to keep mute. And Nigeria will continue to protect you and protect your loot, protect whatever interest you are getting from Nigeria. But when the people react, you just don't know how far they will go. And I hope we can see more of these actions. You know, this action in September. It's not far from now. I'm going to draw my curtains now, and I'm going to open the phone. Let me see if I can connect the phone. And for those who might want to call in and make contribution, I have 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes. I'm going to take just about 3-4 calls. We won't take much, okay? We'll manage the time for 20 minutes, then we'll call it a night. Many of you would like to say one or two things, I believe. Give me a sec. Okay. Don't mind me. I have to connect the phones, I'll say. So I have my first caller. Let's see. Hello. Hello. Princess.
Baba.
You are the first caller. I was expecting you to be the class captain, right? That will be monitoring the noisemakers, distractors. But you are the one who started with Mukadam Feshadura. Will you be the Mukadam tonight, ma?
I will. I will. Maiyegun, good evening. How are
good
you?
Evening. I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay.
Right.
Our story, we won't change it. We won't change our story. Actually, the safe corridor thing, yeah, was so disheartening. And I tell you, the insecurity that we are having at the moment is deliberate.
It is.
I did history and international relations at school, so I know what I'm talking about. The insecurity in Afghanistan, yeah, became worse at the time. That the people didn't believe in government again. We are approaching that stage. It is actually really not a big deal. Operation Safe Corridor, yeah, often see our terrorists in the military. It is part of the plan.
It's obvious now.
The same tactics. The same tactics. It is very obvious. It is not a big deal. History has just repeated itself. If you can remember, yeah, there's this region called Saigon South in Vietnam. American people did this same thing with them. They did it with Iraq. Now it is the Afghanistan people, you know.
You know another thing, Princess.
Generally.
Princess. You see, now the Americans have left. Yeah. These guys in the Taliban in Afghanistan, they are now in possession of the world best fighter jets, Google lanes to operate at night. Name it.
You did allow me to talk with Maiyegun.
Please, fire on.
When America left the airplane with them, but they didn't leave logistics. You don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
There were times that these people they were training, we have to be on Zoom call, to operate gadgets that needs people on ground, that needs experts on ground to be operated on. It is deliberate. Can you see the West? The West does not care if a terrorist is in power. I mean, what do you call a terror group that took over power? What do you call that? It simply means that only power matters, not the monsters behind it. Because I heard Jake Sullivan saying the Taliban, Maiyegun as a terrorist to ensure human rights and dignity in Afghanistan.
Well, how can you put Taliban? How can they put Taliban? That's what I'm saying. How would you put Taliban and human rights in the same sentence?
Can you see the switch? From Taliban, the terrorist, to Taliban, the Afghan leader. You don't understand what I'm saying. The West are not your friends. That is not where we are going this night, but I will stop by there a little bit. So that they will run shouting, hey, British are watching, the West is watching, West you are nothing to them. See, Maiyegun.
Thank you, Princess.
What are the natural resources? Here, Wafagani, they have over 1,400 mineral resources.
That's right.
They have copper, they have gold, they have iron, they have precious stone, they have natural gas.
You are right.
But they have opium and heroin too.
Which is the main thing that the Taliban actually trade.
The last two resources I mentioned are $78 billion a year industry.
Thank you.
So we should know where we are going with this. I will let Buluku Kawa DJ. History just repeated itself. Oh, nobody is doing anything about it. You know, Americans, we know they are users, and whatever comes out of their mouth, you shouldn't believe it. We all know that. So we all know who was
what they're about or expect anything from them. Thank you, Princess. Let me take another call as well. Okay, thank you so much, ma. Tonight. That's Princess calling from Lagos, by the way. I think we actually somehow lost her earlier. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Mike Maiyegun. How you doing, Maiyegun?
I am doing fine, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm going to play a lottery today because it's a lucky day.
Oh,
Getting you after many years.
Oh, thank you very much. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Radical Brother. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Radical Brother. That's new and class. I won't forget that. Please.
Okay, Mike Maiyegun, I know where you will cut Nigeria and it will fall tomorrow. I have the weak point. And I will tell you that now, right now.
Please share with us.
Okay. Listen, the sit at home is working like magic in the southeast.
That's right.
And in the western Nigeria, we have people like Oloye in Lagos, Ibadan, Shuwa, and everywhere. And all of them fall under the command of
Ibagani.
All we need to do is convince Gani Adam to give the command. Any day the southeast is doing sit at home, observe the southeast and the west. If we shut down the east and shut down the west, the north will pee in their pants.
That's very thoughtful.
That is as simple as it is. Now they have seen that at least in west and in south, that the east and the west is united. If they see that in action, or if they see that at home, and the west is shut down and the east is shut down, they will be in their path and they will begin to make mistakes.
That's
and as surely as we all saw Kabul fall, Abuja will fall. Abuja will fall.
And it's
if we're able to shut down the east and the west simultaneously. Any day there is a announced sit at home in the east, Gani Adams should announce a sit at home in the west. And let me tell you this, the Igbo traders in the west are eager for a shutdown, but they are just respecting the owners of their land. They don't want people to say, oh, the Igbos are overslept.
You are
That's
so
why
right.
In Alaba International, in the Oja, in Ibadan, or in Adokiti. But the owners of the land are willing and giving the command. The Igbo traders in Western Nigeria are willing and ready and eager to shut down the West. And that will be the end. If that is it.
That's a very, very powerful one. That the way you even put it, you make it so easy and straightforward. But it's a very powerful suggestion, and I'm glad you shared that with us today, bro. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, man. And keep doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much for the support, by the way, and for not giving up. Because it's been a while you've been trying, I would say. But I won't forget that name.
Oh, boy, I try every time.
Radical Brother. I won't forget. You have a good one there, okay?
All right, bye.
Nice one, sir, yeah. So I have another caller. Let me see. Just a moment, sir. Oh, hang on. Can you hear me?
This is Osita. Yeah, this is Osita.
Osita, sir. You are live.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
From Atlanta, Georgia. Please, sir.
Okay. Today I wanted to listen to other people talk, but I just said no because of
you can't resist it.
Princess said. Yeah. I thank our big auntie, Princess, for being part of us, enlightening us. But there's something I want to say concerning the issue that was what we saw in Afghanistan.
Right.
I remembered when they went into Iraq a professor said in the university in America here, he said that the war that they are going into is not the conventional war, that this kind of war has something to do with tradition and belief. That those wars are difficult to win. Now, I want to bring it back to Nigeria.
Right.
If anybody is looking at the issue of Nigeria, thinking that the state of Nigeria could get better tomorrow, that, one magical angel will come from nowhere and govern Nigeria and govern it right. That one person will say, tomorrow, that let us restructure Nigeria, the Southwest, they govern themselves, the Southeast govern themselves, the North govern themselves. That is going to solve the problem. Believe me, from what we are seeing in the world today, it is never going to solve any problem. Like you said, it will only buy time.
That's right.
The only solution we have, because at the end of the day, they will tell you that we are still all Nigerians. They have the freedom of movement, the freedom of interaction. But if I exist as an entity of my own,
that's right,
I have the law that will barricade anybody to come into my country. If I decide that I don't want anybody to come in and go out of my country, it is my own making.
That's right. Nobody is going to come and tell me what to do or what not to do. After all, America, Britain, all these countries, they have the number of people in a year, they have the number of people they want to visit their country. And if you exceed it, they don't want anybody again. That's right.
So what we are looking at, we are fighting an ideology. Remember, the child of a terrorist today that you even manage to stop his dad or kill the dad, in the next 18, 20 years, that child will start carrying guns. You will remember all those things.
That's right.
Because this is what I call an ideology. Let us not rigmarole. Let us not paint any issue. What we need in this Nigeria of today is for it to cease to exist, break it up, and let everybody go their way.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's just what I want to say today.
Thank you Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Osita. I love that, by the way, and the conclusion, because we shouldn't just be dilly-dallying everywhere. But the process of breaking it up is what many of us want to be peaceful, but these guys don't seem to be interested in peace. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Maiyegun, this is me again, Hanekwe.
Hanekwe, you are live. How are you tonight, by the way?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for asking. And I'm glad to have you again tonight as well.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you. There is something, an issue I want to raise. You see, we are saying there will be no election in 2023. No election in 2023. I see some groups, even the NEMAS. But if we are saying there will be no election without tackling these celebrities, these celebrities, they are one of the major problems we are having. We have to tackle them. There is a lesson to learn from what
about if we don't tackle them and we cut them? Like, try to make them see reason. Because sometimes, the usage of word can make people feel like, you want to tackle me. But please, continue.
They will never, these celebrities, they will never see reason. Are they not in Nigeria? Are they not, they are humans like you. They are seeing what is happening. There is a lesson to learn from what happened between Festus Kayamo and Idris Abdulkarim. Idris was there after 2015. He knew that Buhari was not performing. He knew that something was wrong, but he was still willing to sing for them in 2019. If Kayamo had settled Idris as he requested, Idris wouldn't have sang Jaga Jaga Reloaded. He sang Jaga Jaga Reloaded because he wasn't settled.
That's right.
The same thing with majority of the celebrities you see, both the females. Just watch getting close to election now, they will start campaigning. Go and get your poverty validation card, your PVC. Go and get your PVC. They will start campaigning because they are all either they are a girl, they are girlfriends to the politicians, or they are what do I call it? Another Idris Abdulkarim. They are all begging money. They feed from the politicians. That is why they can never complain. They are seeing what is happening now. Even some of them are from Kaduna State. Okay, how many celebrities from Kaduna, from the Middle Belt? Okay, from the East. Upon everything that has been happening, how many of them have listened, spoken, say this is wrong? What is happening? This is not how things are done. So they can never speak. And for anything that is coming up again, maybe a revolution. What killed EndSARS was calling your fellow protester a hoodlum. How can you tag somebody protesting with you a hoodlum? Look at what happened in America during the one of George Floyd.
Right.
Things were destroyed. You just do your part. Leave those people. They are playing their own role. Those were the guys that they were the people that the Nigerian police were running away from. Everybody was afraid of. Not those people assembling at Lekki. So we should have been at Lekki peacefully, but allow those people to do their own. You don't just deny them like that and say these are hoodlums and okay, we will no longer protest because hoodlums have hijacked it. How can you term your fellow protester a hoodlum?
I think that one is a two-way thing. Okay, we all saw the armed thugs sponsored by government moved and mobilized to attack the protesters in Alausa, attack them at Lekki, right? But we also have those who are like normally protesting, breaking shops and all of that stuff. It's a two-way thing, you know what I mean now? So the call off of the protest then was simply because the protest group became attack, targets at the time. But I'm with you, by the way. I'm with you.
Yes, and we Nigerians, we have this mentality like we are expecting the celebrities to speak for us. The celebrities will not speak for you because they benefit from the system. It is we, the ordinary people. It is we, the ordinary people, that will liberate the land, not the celebrities. They will never talk from now till thy kingdom come. So this is what I have to say.
Thank you very much for calling in once again.
All right,
okay?
God bless
you. Have
you.
a good
God bless
one,
you.
all right?
Well.
Nice one, Baba. Thank you.
All right.
I have one more caller on the line. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Oh, hello, Maiyegun.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Great. You are live. Please, your name for the sake of our listener.
Yes, Olaoluwa ló sọ̀rọ̀.
Great, sir.
Yeah, we'll sọ̀rọ̀ láti England lẹ́nu yẹn.
Yes. Sọ̀rọ̀ láti Ìbàdàn lálẹ́ yìí.
Yeah. Ẹ kúṣẹ́.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So you are live, by the way. Yeah, everyone can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Kini kan ló ń bà mí lẹ́rù, and what I'm trying to say is that I'm really scared. I'm really scared of what is coming. I don't think many people see what is coming, most especially the Yoruba people, the Yoruba elites. Okay, the danger is coming. Now, I want everyone, hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, I want everyone to start thinking what happened in Rwanda. The two tribes, the Hutus and the Tutsi, you see how the Hutus massacred millions of
Tutsis.
The Tutsi. Yes. The Hausa Fulani, this is not about Fulani alone. The Hausa Fulani are planned, they've already planned everything now, and they are ready to overrun us. Please, the solution to this matter is this. If many people never realize that we might not even need many guns to fight this war. We just need to unite and come out with a pronouncement, our decisions. It's getting too late. These people will massacre us. And these white people and these Europeans and the Americans, they will start laughing at us when the blood starts flowing. So I want the Yoruba airlines now. I'm using this opportunity to advise the Igbos as well. Especially these Ohanese, they are dangerous people. Okay? The way Ohanese is going about this 2023, whatever. I had this guy from Katsina, that governor there, that idiot, that were there.
Masari Masakuya.
Basari, he were like Buhari. He talked yesterday. He said people should start protecting themselves. He said people are scaring when the terrorists come. They start running like a child. People should stand up with them. And this bastard, that way, is. I mean, if you look at how many people that are watching him, both the military, SSS, and police, okay, he's not telling the faceless people who are struggling to buy pure water, ordinary pure water. Okay, he's telling them to defend themselves.
Yeah, they can go and buy AK-47 for 500,000 naira from those smugglers, then to defend themselves.
That's right. That's right. And this bastard Ohanese now talking, they come to talk whatever, and so on, and they are massacring their own people. And he's talking because of 2023. Okay? Now, my advice to Southerner now is this. We are now a conquered territory. We are conquered. And these people are behaving exactly that we are conquered people. We need to take our decision now. It's getting too late. These people will massacre us.
Thank you so much, sir.
They will massacre us. And the West will continue laughing at us and will be at the receiving end. This is my own contribution.
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, for always. Again,
Thank
okay. You have a good evening. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Now, thank you to every one of you who tune in tonight to join me on the Maiyegun's Diary Politico. Here is what I'm going to use as my closing remark. It's a tip that I've had in my head. I've used this before, and I'm going to share it with you again. All right? And that tip is security tip. I would want things different, want things changed, and want things better in a way that I won't be so scared of the safety of those we love back home, including those who are going to be traveling through those dangerous roads, who are going to be, living in those communities that are now endangered communities that people are waiting to hear the news. Did any community get attacked yesterday? You see, I have this tip. I don't have money. I don't have the power. I don't have the whatever it takes to move an army to keep the people safe. But information is something I have that you can share with people too. Do us a favor. If you have people in any community, or if you are close to any community group, working from any of these remote communities in southern Nigeria, including in the Middle Belt region, get something called a panic button that allows people that can easily report attack to the people from the next village, and from the next village to the next village, from the other village to the next village. A tip that will quickly trigger a possibility of a regroup to rescue people that are going to come on, or people that come under attacks. Listen, I'm not saying that those who are working day and night protecting our people, vigilantes, volunteers, and the rest of them in different parts of the southern Nigeria, I am not saying you don't have you don't have your technique, you don't have your way of getting things done. I am saying it is so easy and simple if we can ensure that no community is left out in every part of Yoruba land, every part of Biafra land, and every part of the land in the southern Nigeria. I mean, so simple, just a simple tip. They can have this on their phones. They can have a means of getting somebody who will be put on a speed bike to travel to the next village whenever there is an Amber Alert or a terrorist attack. Yes, they may come in. It may last for an hour or two, but if they know
that the neighboring village or the village after that, they have received the alert and they are not waiting for soldiers or military to come and defend the village under attack or the community under attack, but they are coming to come and meet those attackers. You see, from what I found, even though you see these criminals who are brandishing different kind of ammunitions, different kind of guns, displaying all this and, intimidating and threatening people with those videos, right? These guys are cowards. Right? They are a bunch of cowards that don't really fight people with guns. They don't fight you if you have guns. They come in the middle of the night, right? And they attack people in their sleeps. They burn down properties, burn down houses, barns, food, destroy everything in the middle of the night. And then they will disappear into the forest in that same middle of the night until the following morning when the people will begin to pick up the bodies of their loved ones and all of that. They are a bunch of cowards. So if you have this security idea, it is very simple, like I said, but there are many, many of you who have a way of influencing different groups in different communities. Tell them to have this one person in that community. Nobody needs to know the person or the idea of anybody in that community, that once you see that we are under attack or you spot or sense a stranger movement of strangers in our community and all of that, you should go to this also place and call this number to alert the next village. And when they hear that from the next village, the vigilantes, everyone who has their own ammunition and what have you, they can group. And once these terrorists realize that you are coming, trust me, you will be saving lives. You may not have a clue. The tip, the greatness of that tip I just gave to you now. When people are able to tell the rest of the world that they are under attack, yes, they will be attacked. Yes, the attackers will feel like they are powerful. But once they know that help is on the way, trust me, you will be saving more lives than the ones they are reporting lost every now and then. Who are we going to run to? The soldiers that are also being killed? Who? People are being kidnapped and ransom are being paid. The government will tell you we are on top of the situation. Trust me, if you are from Nigeria, you understand what that word means. It simply means OYO, on your own. My security tip comes so free, so simple. But please, I do tell people this same time all the time. Alert other neighbors. Alert your next community. You will likely be staging a comeback. And possibly you won't just be the victim. You won't just be the casualty of their attacks. Your people might come back and they may even get some of them that will also pay the supreme price for the crime they are committing against you. If the government won't defend us, let's make people the army. When I say make the people the army, make them intelligent enough to know what they want. Once people can separate what they want from what they don't want, they can change it once what they don't want is actually what they are being offered. Intelligence, what do you call it? Intelligent quotient, IQ of the people. Build it. Give them information. Something that works. Practicable. Like I'm doing right now. I'm glad that people say thank you to me. Usually I say it is a thankless job. Yes. Let's stick together, I'll say. Let's stick together, keep things together. Don't tear ourselves apart. And when I say don't tear ourselves apart, I'm talking about we in the southern Nigeria, especially many of us who have been tagged or condemned to be the slaves to a system that we have no say about. So thank you to every one of you who tuned in tonight, to every one of you who also shared. My friends who always want to give me the super chats, the super sticker and all that. The callers, every one of you who took time to call in and contribute. The commenters, all of you who always be there to share your view, to express yourselves about every conversation we always have on Maiyegun's Diary Politico. To my friends, those who stay back, not just to watch Maiyegun, they stay back and they subscribe just because they would love to hear from me again. And finally, to all of you who never shy away from giving that your thumb up on YouTube. Thank you to every one of you tonight. I'm going to see you again when I see you. Stay safe. And remember, you need to break up Nigeria to save lives. Good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Tí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnràkì.